Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Chris from weddingphotographytips.com.au. Today I want to talk to you guys about gear, specifically my gear. I've had a bunch of photographers email me through the blog or just ask me throughout the years what gear I use, what do I take with me, what do I suggest they use. Personally, I find it's totally up to you. But yeah, today I just want to go through what I use and how it's helped me along the way. Personally, I'm a Canon user. I know Nikon and Canon, there's always a bit of a rival. To be completely honest with you, the only reason that I use Canon is because that's what I was trained with when I was an assistant many moons ago. This is the camera that my boss had, so I learned to use his camera, and it's pretty much what I've had ever since. I've got no desire to change because it does do everything that I need it to do. It's super comfortable, it fits in my hand, I know where all the settings are, I can use it with my eyes closed. So for me, it just works perfectly. I just want to quickly touch on lenses. I prefer to use zoom lenses. I know again there's a bit of a debate between prime lenses and zoom lenses, which one is better, which one is worse. I personally think that is purely up to your style and what you prefer. There's no good or bad in either. I prefer to use the zoom lenses mainly because I find them more versatile. On a wedding, there's a lot going on, there's things happening far away, close by, things happen unexpectedly, so I find having the zoom lens on my camera just gives me that bit of advantage to nail that shot if it does happen unexpectedly, or just allows me to create more variety in photos as we're going, some wide, some close, whatever it may be. I just find that it gives me more options. And I really like the look of it. It suits my style, and personally I find it a bit easier too. So let's get straight into it. First of all, my workhorse, my Canon 5D Mark III. I've been using this camera for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years now, and absolutely have no dramas with it whatsoever. It's a really awesome camera, does everything I need, and in the Mark III version, it came out with pretty much the best feature ever invented, which is the 2-card memory slot. So as I'm shooting, I'm shooting or writing to 2 cards at the same time, which pretty much is the savior of all photographer nightmares of a card failing. So if a card does fail, I've always got a backup in there, which just calms my nerves, and I know everything's going to be okay just in case. 24-70 lens, series 2, it's the 2.8, absolutely ridiculously good, amazing lens. A little bit pricey, but definitely worth every cent. I use it at every single wedding without a doubt, pretty much for 70 to 80% of the day. No dramas, it's pin sharp, super versatile, love it, no dramas. Highly suggest you get this lens. Lucky last is the battery grip. I use this for 2 reasons. One is I've got fairly big hands, so it's just comfortable. Super comfortable for vertical shots, super comfortable for horizontal. So yeah, for me it adds a bit of weight to the whole kit, but for me I just find it really comfortable and easy to use. And the second thing, it doubles my battery power, which is obviously an advantage. So let's move on. My second most important piece of equipment is the 7200. It's also the series 2 with image stabilizer. Fairly pricey lens, but again, I think it's worth every cent. It's an absolutely brilliant, amazing, beautiful lens. The focal drop off, the softness is beautiful. It's pin sharp on the focus point. Never had any dramas, and the image stabilizer is an absolute must. If you were going to buy this lens, say you didn't have the money or you really wanted it, go down to the series 1 and still get the image stabilizer, but I don't think it's worth it without it for shooting weddings. Things happen quickly, you need to be ready for anything. Sometimes you're shooting at 200mm, quite far away in low light, so the image stabilizer just makes everything pin sharp, and I highly, highly recommend it. Really beautiful, beautiful lens. Next thing is the wide angle. This is the 17-40 L series, but f4. I didn't find that I needed the 2.8 for the stuff I'm using this lens for. I use it 90% of the time outdoors, so I'm at f8 or f5.6 or whatever, so I didn't need that soft look for shots that I'm creating with this lens. Really beautiful wide angle lens, does everything I need, pretty simple, great for scenery, anything sort of, I've done a few of my hero shots using this lens, looks great for dip kisses, spinning, adding a bit of drama, really good lens. Lucky last, probably my least used lens is my 100mm macro. It is 2.8, but not the L series. It's about 700 bucks, works great, very, very good for detail shots. I use it pretty much all the time at the groom coverage and the bride coverage to get the rings, the cufflinks, the shoes, the bride's little details and jewellery. Looks really, really beautiful. One tip is that it is very, very soft. So whenever you're using it, I would always suggest to look at the shots on the back of the camera, zoom in on whatever you're focusing on, and make sure that whatever you are focusing on is in focus. Because quite often I'll be shooting the engagement ring and I find the back of the ring is in focus instead of the beautiful diamond at the front. So great lens, good for the kit, but probably I would say not essential. But this is absolutely a must-have essential piece, is a flash. I'm using the Canon 600EX RT. You don't need to have this flash specifically, it can be an earlier model or really any flash, but I highly, highly suggest that you do use a flash. Don't need it all day, but for any low light conditions, it's just an absolute must. I use it in half my church or ceremony coverages, depending on the light, and I pretty much use it 100% of the time at the reception. Once you've mastered how to use it, there are certain tricks which I'll go through in another post, but has a really beautiful soft effect, and you can aim it up, you can aim it at the wall to create interesting portraits. It's got a reflector, really good for bouncing the light forward, and a diffuser in there. Heaps of features, I won't go through all of it now, but in general, a flash is an absolute must-have whenever you're shooting a wedding. Second body, this is a really old camera of mine, the 1D Mark II, about 7 or 8 years old. It's just sitting here because my second camera that I always use, the Canon 5D Mark II, is shooting this video, so that should be sitting here. But yeah, I've always got a second body, which is the Canon 5D Mark II, which I've never had to pull out actually, but it's always nice to have it in the kit, just in case anything goes wrong, and I can pull out that and keep shooting with no interruptions. Lucky last, a little bit of little stuff, just in case the lens gets a bit of schmutz or crap on it, that works great. Charger for batteries in the camera body. Again, I've never needed to use this on a wedding day, but always good to have just in case. My cards, I always shoot with one 8 gig, two 16 gigs, and a 32 gig, and I like to swap the cards regularly throughout the day, just so I don't run out of memory at a crucial time of day. So before starting a ceremony or a reception or anything important, put a fresh card in, and that way I'm good to go for the next few hours. Second clip for my battery grip. Again, I've never needed to use this, but always good to have just in case. It's there with fully charged batteries. If whatever happens, something fails or batteries run out, chuck that in and I'm good to go within a few seconds. More batteries. These are spare batteries that are fully charged, ready for my flash with the charger. Again, I've never needed to use this on a wedding, but comes in handy just in case, you never know. It's always good to have backup or doubles of everything, just in case. And lucky last is my transmitter for my Elinchrom flash, which I'll go through further down in the post at Wedding Photography Tips. Just transmits single to my off-camera flash, which is a studio flash, which creates some of the shots that I would call my hero shots, which also define my style a little bit. But that lives in my camera bag as well, and I pretty much use that for half of my location shots whenever I'm out on a photo shoot. So thank you guys for listening. That covers pretty much everything about my gear. All of this lives in my camera bag, which is sitting behind me, and I take it to every single wedding. I've never had any dramas, any problems with this stuff, and it pretty much has been my kit for the last 7 years. Obviously upgrading stuff, but pretty much this is my standard kit. Works great for me. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. Hopefully it's given you some ideas or inspiration or what not to do. But either way, look, this is my stuff, and thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and just head over to Wedding Photography Tips to see more great tutorials and courses and techniques about wedding photography. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.